Still grinding maybe a little bit over Saturday's game. I thought we had our opportunities. I thought we got enough stops to win the game. Didn't execute down the stretch, didn't play with enough grit down the stretch. All that said, still had a chance to tighten that thing up. Open shot goes in here, a layup goes in here. But I got asked a question in the press conference by, I'm not sure who he was, where he was from, but he asked about, your team plays hard, and are you happy with their competitiveness? And, I'd like to revisit that. I am happy with my team's competitiveness. We have improved our defense from last year. We do get down in games and fight our way back. What I try to figure out is why we get down. Thankful that we fight our way back. We are learning how to compete. And to me, we have to take the next step that the competing is taken for granted, is that's just what we're going to do. It's taken for granted. That's our foundation, is competing, and now we learn how to win. So that's what I've been focused on for the last 36 hours or whatever since I saw you guys last. And that being said, we're in finals week. School is very important to me. The goals for our program are graduation, not just eligibility. Graduation is what we strive for, and this week's a big part of that. I'm not a big believer in, finals week is the tell-all. I think you got to build up to that, and that's why I talk about, preventive maintenance versus crisis management. And right now we're in preventive maintenance. My guys are doing well in school, and we need to finish it off. Similar to a game. We've done enough to be in the game academically. Now we got to finish it off. So, again, I think that's a big part of this process. My guys are students first, and they're young men who go to school. So it's important to me. We are still fighting a culture in this program where my players were allowed to be average and it was accepted. And we're going to change that. We have changed it. It's not where it needs to be, but we're fighting that on all levels. And I'm going to keep fighting the good fight. And we're going to build this thing with guys that think an A is acceptable, not a C. That think winning is acceptable, not just playing hard. So we got one guy that has to leave early. We tried to schedule it around, obviously I like to give my guys time to recover after practice for their exam. But I also think that there's a big misconception, having the whole day off is not good either. Or, as far as basketball, it's nice to break a sweat, clear your head, hit your books before, break a sweat, clear your head, hit them after, get something to eat, hit them again. That's kind of the way we do our preps. We hit it for an hour, come back, hit it again, and then that redundancy and going over it and over it, I think you get it. And we have kind of the same philosophy academically. So I think the breaking a sweat during this time of the year is a good thing. We're not going to go 3 hours like we did in preseason, but we'll go an hour and 20 and get some skill work in. Try to use this week to get better individually at both ends of the floor. That's kind of our focus today. Our focus Wednesday will be similar to that. Thursday and Friday we'll do more with our game plan and prep. So I call it kind of a individual getting better week, again with skill work and school. So I think you have to explain to them where there was the chance to take them, where there was a chance to grab it by the throat and take it over. And you have to explain to them where those opportunities were. We had that in Washington, up 2, I think, with 3 minutes to go. They put a little press on us. We turned it over. It changed momentum. That was our opportunity to break that press, handle that situation, get it to 4. Maybe it's over. And we didn't do it. The other night we had 4 stops in a row. They had a 4-point lead. And, if you get 4 chances to get it to 2 or get it to 1, or you got to do that. And, it was turnover. It was bad shot. It was poor execution, and then it was a run-out layup and an and one and an offensive rebound. And, making plays at the end of the games is not always a bucket. To me, it's a rebound, it's a cutout, it's a charge, it's something that gives you a chance to take the lead, something that stops them from extending the lead, something that shows them that they're not getting this one, whatever it is. But you give up a tip in, you give up a transition bucket after a bad shot, that tells them that you don't want it. You ain't going to steal it from them. You're not going to grab them by the throat and take it over, So, I think it comes down to toughness, Mike. I just mental toughness, understanding that that point in the game you gotta play it a little tougher, be a little tougher, grit your teeth, but be mentally tough. See, everybody thinks I talk about toughness as it's not that. It's some of that. Physical toughness is important. Conditioning is very important. Our conditioning is 10 times better than it was last year. But it's a mental approach to the game that you understand what needs to be done, you understand how to get it done, and then you make the adjustments through the adversity in the game to do it. We have to learn that. This team won 14 games 2 years ago and 11 last year. So we got 12 and a half wins average in 2 years. Haven't won a lot of close games here. Lost 6 by 3 points or less last year. So to me, it's a process. We've improved our defense. We've improved our execution. Again, we held them to 75 points, which I think is good. They did shoot 53%, but they only made 4 threes. They're making 8.7, I think. So as a coach, am I going to evaluate us on some small victories and some games inside the game? Yeah, I'm going to evaluate that. But it comes down to, can you make that one play or those 2 plays that get you over the hump? It's no different to me when you're up 10 and you're up 15, they cut it to 10 and you make a 3. Get it back to 13 and that runs over. That one's stymied. Or you're up 10 and you take a charge when they could have got it to 8. You slide over and take a charge. Or you're up 10 and Kim Tilly runs in, tips the ball in to go to 12. Well, that might be it. That might be the play. It's no different. But, because of the score, people evaluate it differently. But those are winning plays. They might come when you're 4 down. They might come when you're 10 up. They might come when you're 20 up. You guys know what I said, how I felt about Johnny Bryant taking that 3 against Utah State when we're up 20 with 33 seconds on the shot clock with 5 minutes to go. You know what I mean? You can't do that. You take some time, you execute, you get a good look. This is all part of the process with this team. And my job is to explain to them where they need to be accountable for what they've done and then take ownership in the next time of it not happening again. That's what we got to do. Well, Lawrence is a guy that plays off other people. He gets open looks from passes out from the post. He gets open looks from drive and pitch. He is going to be like that. Our team is like that. We've had 6 leading different scorers, I think, in 8 games. Or maybe it's 5, and then Kim Tilly was the second leading scorer, maybe when Luke had 20 the other day. But we've had 5. Our team is going to be like that. We have an offense, and we have a system where we take what the defense gives us. We can play inside, we can play outside, we can run. So that's going to change who your main guys are that night in scoring. So I don't look at it as a negative, Mike. Now our assisted turnover ratio is very poor. That is a negative, and that's a reflection of guard play. But we're going to have different scorers, and we're going to have guys that have big nights and guys that don't, because we're going to try to attack the weaknesses of a defense with the weapons we have. That's going to be different guys on different nights. I think that makes you a hard team to guard. Did Oregon think Koepke was going to get 23 and just kill him on the high pick and roll? I don't know if they did, but that's what was there. That's what we took, and I thought for a while it was damn effective. So they had to change their defense on the pick and roll. In the second half they did. We had a couple opportunities for Luke because of that. Luke gets the bloody nose. I think he made 2 baskets in a row, gets the bloody nose, comes out. No excuse, but, changed the game a little bit.